Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Helleborine tour, which last year was a total disaster, although it wasn't all my fault. I mean, last year was a disaster for Helleborines in this part of the world anyway, and we don't get many, even in a good season, so when it goes wrong, you are struggling. So I'm a bit more confident about today. I'm going to start off here in Peterborough on my doorstep at Bedford Purlieus Wood, which hasn't performed at all in the last two seasons. There's usually some broad-leaved Helleborines around here, but they just haven't shown up in the last couple of years. I've had a wander around the wood already. There's a few small plants, but one or two just about showing buds on them, so they seem to be well off. A lot of them have been nipped off by something, so nothing much doing now. I'm going to wander down the main path in a minute, because I found in prior years, I'm probably going back 3, 4, 5 years now, there were more around the main path where there was a bit of light getting through than there was in this sort of dark section of wood. So I'm going to go and have a look there, and then we're going to kick on from here, head south and go down towards Bedfordshire, where they tend to perform a little bit better. We're going to see how many different Helleborines we can find. I daren't suggest we're going to find 3, 4, 5, I haven't got a clue, but as many as we can find. So let's kick on with Bedford Purlieus. Seeing a few small plants, none of them in bud. They always look like they're going to flower next year, but when next year comes, there's nothing happening. I mean, there's plenty of quite robust broad-leaved Helleborines like that. That's been nipped off. I can see that's been nipped off by something. Might explain why you don't see them here very often now. Having said that, that looks interesting. I think there's some flowers on that one. Let's have a look. Well, there you go. We do have a broad-leaved Helleborine here at Bedford Purlieus Wood. It even has, there's a lot of buds on it, but there are a couple of flowers at the bottom as well. There you go. Nothing spectacular, but it's the first flowering broad-leaved Helleborine I've seen here for a couple of seasons now. Oh, that's interesting. Good heavens, it's a bit out of character. What is happening here? Wasn't expecting that. That one is certainly growing strong, and it's kind of colourless as well. I need to look up on the screen when I get home a little bit closer. It looks like it could be one of those sort of chlorophyll absent broadleaves that are sort of just green and yellow. I'll need to look this up. Another one in the same patch, about 2 foot from the yellow and green one we've just seen. In fact, there's a whole bunch of them in this small clearing. That's nice. Nice colourful broad-leaved Helleborine. Just had a wander around one or two other parts of Bedford Purlieus Wood. It's a huge place. I can't find nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm sure there's all sorts lurking in the woods, but without some local knowledge as to exactly where the orchids are or helleborines are, you ain't going to find it. But I've had a quick look, but I'm going to move on now. I was happy to see what I've seen here. I mean, I didn't see anything here last year or the year before, so just that little group. It was about 10 foot by 10 foot square clearing, call it what you will, in the sort of brambles at the edge of the path, and there was about 4 helleborine there in flower. So yeah, I'm not too early after all, so that bodes well for what's to come. I'm going to jump in the car, head down the A1. Bedford, here we come, or Bedfordshire, here we come. Well, they said the weather this morning would be dry and sunny, and in the afternoon showery and wet. And it started gloriously at Bedford Purlieus about an hour ago. Now we've got down to Bedfordshire and it's raining, but it's not going to stop us. Had a disappointing start to this one because I've been over near Stotfold to a green flowered helleborine site, and there were 20 to 30 green flowered helleborine, which is one of my target species today, and they're all gone over. They shouldn't be, because this time last year they were still in their full glory, but the dry, hot weather of late, not today, has absolutely nailed them. So it's looking highly likely that green flowered helleborine will not make the cut today. I've wandered down the road, driven down the road a few miles to Lower Gravenhurst, I think the village is called, and to a wood here. I did have a tip off a while back that there are helleborines here. I can't remember what helleborines, but I think it would just be broadleaved. But we'll go and have a look and see if we can't get this day going a little bit better than it's been going so far. Come on, Bedfordshire, you owe me. I don't want another Barton Hills today. Give me something, anything. Helleborine. Helleborine alert, I think. There you go, not a bad broad-leaved helleborine to start with. Bit of colour in it. And we're up and running, so far as Bedfordshire's concerned. Not much to see on that one, it's pretty closed up at the bottom, but it is a broad-leaved helleborine, and I am not fussy today. It's raining and we're not finding much, so anything that wants to jump on board's good by me. We're actually in a little patch here because I know there's a couple more behind me, so things are looking up. All pretty similar in here, or in this patch, all starting to go over as well. Be nice to see a particularly colourful one. You can get them. Broadleaves are highly variable, but not in this wood. They seem to be all members of the same clan, really. Shouldn't complain though. Absolutely peeing down now. I'm okay, I'm under the trees, but where's the dry and sunny weather gone? Maybe it's still to come. That's all right, Lower Gravenhurst. I forget the name of the wood, but there's plenty of them around here, and I'm pretty sure they're probably all just as good as one another. Not huge numbers, but yeah, they're decent numbers for me. A broad-leaved Helleborine, and not very exciting, but you know, Helleborines are not very exciting. There you go, I've said it. Not a big fan of Helleborines, but it's the challenge. It's the challenge to find them, which I failed on last year. At least we found a few, so I'm going to jump in the car and head on to our next site, where it could be a little bit more interesting, but I'm not going to say too much because, yeah, I'll set myself up for a fall. So I'm going to head out into the rain and move on. Chicksands Wood. Can't do a Helleborine tour without Chicksands Wood. Was it 2 years ago? Brilliant. Massive monster violet Helleborine and more. Last year, nothing. I think there was one gnarly broad-leaved Helleborine, that was it. So what to expect, I don't know. Somewhere between the two would be absolutely fine. I don't think we'll find violets because it's a wee bit too early. I will try a little later on, a violet site nearer home, but probably not going to get violets. I'd be surprised if we didn't get a broad-leaved. And last year I came here looking for a rarity that grew here last year, so it wasn't here. It had been eaten by deer, so if that deer has returned and eaten them again, I will track it down and beat the hell out of it. No, seriously, every finger I've got is crossed that we might find the rare one. Might make up for not seeing a green flowered Helleborine on this tour. But yeah, always a good wood, a good place. Reminds me of Bedford Purlieus. It's big with a lot of rides going off it. I'm sure there's all sorts lurking in there, but we'll be going to the what was the hot spot a couple of years ago, and hope that something good is happening in 2025. Let's go and have a look in the woods. Looks a bit Blair Witch to me. Shades of last season so far, as in nothing to see. I think the one broad-leaved Helleborine last season was pretty much in front of us here somewhere. Looks like we're not even going to get that. Oh. No. 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 Bugger it. This is exactly what the green flowered Helleborine looked like earlier this morning. This is a narrow lipped Helleborine, and they're very, very rare. It's the only one that grows in the county, or this patch. There's a few of them here, and it's gone over. Can't believe it. It was still in flower at the end of last week. Just got to hope there's another one, but it doesn't look good. There's another one. I could possibly claim that. It's almost open. Most of it's gone over. There's still some buds at the top. Can I count that? Desperate. Oh, I found a plant, I've half seen it. Oh dear. 2 days earlier that would still be in flower. Very rare Helleborine is that. timed it wrong. Ah dear, can't believe that. I was chuffed to actually find those narrow-lipped Helleborine, and I just seem to have caught it at just the wrong time. It looked like there was some flowers at the top that hadn't opened yet, some buds that haven't opened yet, and yet the ones at the bottom had gone too far over to film. I could claim it, I suppose, but I think it's just made me more determined next season to come back and get it at the right time. I think when somebody reports it's open, you've got to jump in your car and head over here, because I don't think it lasts too long. That's if the deer don't eat it in the first place. So yeah, disappointing to get that close. To put it in perspective, the narrow-leaved Helleborine, I think it was discovered 2 seasons ago, and it was the first ever found in Bedfordshire. And when you look to see, if you look at distribution maps, it really hangs out central south, really. It doesn't come up this far, so it really is a rarity, not just local. But nationally, even down south in its sort of stronghold, there aren't many of them. So it would have been the highlight of this tour to have seen them, but alas, it's not going to be. So we move on. I'm going to drive on now to the Harrold Odell country park. We went there last year. It's a sort of, if you're from Peterborough, it's a sort of Ferry Meadows type place, but it's a great place for broad-leaved Helleborine, or it was last year. The way this morning's going, they'll all have gone over, but I'm fairly confident it was really good last year, and some absolute clonkers when it came to broad-leaved Helleborine, so I'm still upbeat. The highlight of this tour is still to come, hopefully. Welcome to Harrold Odell Country Park. Came here last season on the same tour. It's just broad-leaved Helleborines, but big ones, clonkers, decent broad-leaved Helleborine, not the little tiny ones, and hopefully not the gone over ones. So I'm hoping it'll be as good today as it was last year. And it's not raining, which is a good job, because the rain earlier managed to get into my microphone and completely mess it up. So I'm hoping the sound comes out okay on this one. It's not too windy, so it should be okay. But yeah, we're looking for nice, beefy, clonker style broad-leaved Helleborine. Doesn't look too healthy. As in, gone over again. There's a flower or two on it. Pretty much gone, that one. Another one pretty much gone, just hanging on. More disappointment, I'm afraid. Just that small group that we just saw. With a few surviving flowers. That was all there was to see. Last year they were sort of 3-4 foot tall, covered in flowers, and it was around about this time, if not a bit later than this. So yeah, been messed around by the heat and by the drought, no doubt. So I'm going to walk around the lake, because I don't know if you remember, if you watched the previous video from last year, at this site there was a, I think they call it an albino form. It doesn't have a proper title, but it's just a white foliaged broad-leaved Helleborine with purple flowers. Quite a hideous and ugly looking thing, but very weird and unusual. And I'm hoping it might still be there, because that'll give us something to at least end this section of the tour on a high. Fingers crossed. You can see the white broad-leaved Helleborine a mile off. It's not meant to look like that. At least it's still there. Might be a flower on it, you never know. Then again, maybe not. Totally weird. Very ugly. It never looks better than this. It just doesn't grow tall and stout. It always looks like it's half dead. Pretty amazing thing. There's probably a correct name for this, but I don't know what it is. Call it albino or anything you like. Blimey, a group of Helleborine just saved the day. This one's a bit camera shy, drooping downwards. Can't do much about it. It's a nice clean one at last. Certainly a lot of these dusky, straw-coloured, if that, broad-leaved Helleborines today. Seems to be the in thing. Not seeing anything too bright, but this one's in good shape at least. That's almost colourful. Harrold Odell Country Park. That's pretty good actually. Came good at the end then. At least we saw that albino form, which was one of the things I wanted to see today. Managed to capture it a bit better than I did last year when the sun was blazing down and bleaching it out. And a weird thing, but still good to see. So yeah, good finish there. What's left? Yeah, I'm going to pile onto one other site because nearer to home, because I want to see how close we are to violet Helleborine. They could be in flower. But at the very least I can see whether there's going to be any violet Helleborine at that site. There were none there last year, there were plenty there the year before again, so toss of a coin. So we'll get off and go chasing violet Helleborine. Dream on. Monkswood, violet Helleborine in your dreams. No, seriously, 2 seasons ago I was tipped off of a violet Helleborine here, which in my part of the world, you know, violet Helleborine don't really grow. There's a couple that turn up sometimes at Bedford Purlieus, but not very often. So when I was tipped off, I found it kind of hard to believe, but I came down here and there must have been a dozen or so violet Helleborine here in flower, which was fantastic. But I came down here last season full of enthusiasm and confidence, and there was nothing. And when I say nothing, I don't mean not in flower, I mean there was nothing. There were no stalks, there was absolutely no sign of violet Helleborine here. So what to expect this year, I don't know. It is a bit early, but they are in flower in the home counties, and that's only just down the A1, so there is a chance. But at the very least, I want to see whether there are some stalks there, so that I can pencil it in to return in whatever 10-14 days and know they're going to be here. So I'm going to get one or the other out of it, or of course another blank, hopefully not. There are a couple of fenced off areas here, which, you know, credit to the people who look after Monkswood. They put these fences up to protect the violet Helleborine from deer, rabbits and whatever. So credit to them, but sadly. There's no violet Helleborines in there, no stems, no sign of life really, as there wasn't last year. So, you know, it's a bit like Bedford Purlieus. We had a couple there. I think we had 3 there the one year. Just nothing in the subsequent years. They just vanished. I think they popped up one subsequent year and then got eaten by something. But yeah, there's nothing here once again, sadly. But at least I know. That means I'm going to have to find somewhere else to find a violet Helleborine. I'm sure someone's going to tip me off. I shall keep an eye on social media. Right, there you go, that's it. Don't know how to describe today's efforts. Not a disaster, because a part of me felt, you know, with the summer we've had and the drought and the heat, that there was every chance that things would not go to plan. And at the end of the day, I found green flowered Helleborine in bigger numbers than I've ever seen before, and it's a great little sight as well. But they'd just gone over, so the timing was wrong. They shouldn't have gone over, but as I say, the conditions have changed their seasons this year, and I missed them. The narrow-lipped Helleborine, that was devastating because it was there, it hadn't been eaten, and it looked like they were a couple of good plants there, but again, they've gone over. Probably shouldn't have done, but again, they've gone early, and missed them both. We got broadleaved. Violets were never going to be in flower, so I'm going to have to hold out. If I get a chance to go and see a violet Helleborine somewhere not too far away, I will rush out and do that. But otherwise, yeah, Helleborine tour is broadleaved Helleborine and broadleaved Helleborine only this year. But we saw a few of those, nothing spectacular apart from that strange white thing. But at least we got something. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will be out for the traditional season ending autumn ladies tresses if I don't do violet Helleborine first, but that will be the traditional final trip out. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you'll join me for that last venture out.